I forgot we had that dumb intro. I forgot all about that, man. What a dumb intro. You better
Good
work on
morning,
a new one, man.
Vietnam, or wherever you the hell everybody is, man. Shoot.
All
Hey,
right,
my
guys,
intro
man.
is nice. Okay, you just don't
Yeah.
hate on my intro, man.
All right, guys. I hope everybody had a good week, good weekend. We got a lot to talk about tonight. Like I said earlier in the week, we got Austin from International Used Trucks on here. We'll bring him in here in just a few moments. Um, D, for some reason, wants to address this first comment, so go ahead and address the first comment.
So, first comment tonight. Hello, hope everyone is having a good evening. I will be driving during the show. Boo. Pull over and chat with us, man. Not able to ask questions about the international trucks, but if you get a chance, ask if they offer any Manuels. Well, I think they offer some Manuels. They might offer some Aurelios, maybe some Miguels. You know,
What the hell are you talking about?
he said he's looking for Manuel's truck. I don't know if Manuel
He's
sold the truck, so you know.
looking for a manual truck, buddy.
Yeah,
Jesus, man. Oh, man. So that's your first comment, huh?
yeah. Who else we got in the chat this
So we
evening?
got old Newman Attack. He's on the phone. Chomps got G80 Sean. Yo, doing Fidel's Yo. Lance Calhoun, second that manual transmission. And Jonah Green. What's up, Jonah? How are you, buddy? Hope things are well, man. Um,
Fidel's gonna copyright that, yo, so nobody can
yeah,
use it.
I don't know how well that's going to go with copyright a yo, but more power to him if he can.
If you get
More
it,
power.
shoot, I don't blame him for it, man. Anyways,
All
man,
right.
what's going on with your week, brother? How you been?
Actually, my week has been, I mean, it's really weird, man. The spot market is really bad right now, and with the dedicated stuff that I'm doing, and I've said it before in the last live, and I said it, in the last video that I did. These loads that I'm doing used to pay, between $300 and $500 more than what they do now. So the real weird thing is because of that, and now that I've got the used truck, I'm making the exact same amount of money as I did when I had the SFI truck because of, did you catch it yet?
No,
Okay.
I'm
So
listening. Go ahead.
I'm making the exact same amount of money as what I did when I had the SFI truck. So that wasn't my intentions, but other than that, I mean, I'm moving. I mean, I've got no problems with loads. They just don't pay worth the crap. I don't know if that's affected because of the spot market or are these lanes are down or I don't know. I don't have an answer for that.
Well, the good thing
Neither does
about it is
anybody.
that you don't have an SFI payment, so it's not really going. It's not really going. It might suck now, but it's not really killing you.
Well, the thing that I was going to say is um, it's not what I signed up for. The whole purpose of getting the truck was to make the money. Yeah, I understand what you're saying. At least I don't have one because there's guys out there struggling, and I can name one guy right now that's really close to giving his up because of the payment. But again, that's not what I signed up for, and I'm not enjoying this at all.
Uh huh.
What about your week?
Typical week, typical Landstar week. I drove, I ran, and now I'm sitting in the hotel, chilling. I got
Hotel?
a,
What you got going on?
I got flatbed training class. Well, not flatbed, securement class going on tomorrow and Tuesday. So hopefully I'll be pulling the whole. I'll be on the skateboard gang, man. Well,
Good deal,
preferably
man.
I want to go step deck, but I'll just take whatever they got available first, and then move on from there. So that's what I'm doing.
Good deal, man. I know you've always wanted to go back into flatbedding. Have you done it before? I don't think you've ever done it,
I've
have you?
never done flatbed
Okay.
before. I've
I knew
always
you've
wanted.
always talked about it,
Yeah,
but
I've always wanted to. So it's like it's no time like the present.
yeah. So Rocky Mountain Truck says, "Hey." Newman Attack said he's making fun of me on the phone with Poppy. Remind Poppy that we're live tonight. Jonah
Uh
Green
huh.
says he's good. Might get
Midnight.
might get on the show soon, but Hirschbach almost 2 months. Hey Jonah, you're welcome. Come on the show anytime you want to. Hey, what's up, Life of KO? He's on here.
KO's in the building. Hey,
Or
I want to
actually,
say something. Me and this guy has got very personal over the last couple of days, man. You know, me and KO. He's a cool dude, man. I'll tell you that, man. Go like and subscribe to his channel. If you're not already subscribed to KO's channel, go ahead and do that. You're missing out on the adventures that he be having. He's doing open deck as well too, and matter of fact, last couple of videos, he went out of the country to Canada, did a Canadian load, and brought it back. So it might be something that if you guys are interested, check his videos out. You might see something, might like something.
All right, so little dude from 63rd. Let's talk about it. Schneider versus JB Hunt versus Landstar versus F2S versus Mercer. That's a lot to take in. It'd be more of what are you looking for? What are you looking to do? All of those companies are good except for JB Hunt. I would not go to JB Hunt. We've talked about it many times on the live, and I've done videos about it. Don't know anything about Mercer. I can tell you anything you want to know about Schneider and F2F, but and the Landstar thing, D can always answer. But the thing is, what are you looking to do? Go ahead and put it in the comments and kind of tell us what you're looking for, and maybe we can figure it out with you. And the last comment, I swear Life on 18 is either Jamaican or Haitian.
I am neither. Listen, my mom and my dad are from Antigua. So technically I'm from the Caribbean too, but not from those two islands. From Antigua. Different.
Yes, D Patriot for JB Hunt. And you can go back and check out some previous videos and find out why. We're all looking to get rich and retire. Absolutely, Brian.
Brian Jess in the building tonight. Hey, that's another buddy that I've been talking to a little bit more than that, man. We've been having some really cool conversations about some crazy stuff that's been going on in trucking. So,
All right, guys, hold your comments down. We're going to bring Austin in. And right now we're going to concentrate on questions for Austin. If you have any questions about anything else, we'll get all those later on in the show if we have time and stuff. But I'm going to bring Austin up. No delay. There he is.
Austin's in the building. The guest goes in the middle. There we go.
What's going on, guys? How's everybody doing?
How you doing, man?
I can't complain, guys.
Life is good.
Life is good. Life is good. Life is good. Just just trying to out here, just make it out here, just like you guys are. Sales have been good. No short thanks to the efforts that you guys have been trying to send guys my way in order to try and do a lot of the same things that you guys are doing. So I want to give a big shout out to the two of you and you guys' efforts for sending as many guys as you can my way. So I appreciate that. Big hats off, big kudos. For anybody that doesn't know already, James and D have both come and purchased trucks from me. They were looking to kind of branch off and do their own thing. They were both at one point with Schneider Financial. They decided that they were looking to get into their own truck. They then turned in the Schneider Financial trucks, and they came and they cut the cord and came and financed their own. And they came and they purchased. They made the plunge, took the jump, and so they've been blowing and going. So
I ain't blew nothing, bro. No Diddy, but I've been going. I've been going, but I ain't been blowing nothing, man. All right, man. So before we get into the trucking stuff, man, Austin, really cool dude. Let's get into your history, man. Give us a little background about you.
Yeah. So, real quick, just kind of a brief history of me. Originally, born and raised in Columbus, Ohio. So,
Midwest baby.
Absolutely. Been there born and raised there for 26 years. Actually kind of cut my teeth on the enterprise truck rental side. Kind of got a taste of the business that way. My father actually was on the trailer leasing and rental and sales business for about 30 years. And then I kind of transitioned into that from the enterprise side of things. And so I was there for doing that in Columbus. I worked for a trailer leasing and sales company called Nets Trailer Leasing. They've since merged with Star Leasing Company and to become Trailer Equipment Network. Shout out to them. I was not there at the time of that merger. I had since moved on from that. The opportunity came available with Navistar down here in Tampa, Florida, and I spent a lot of time down here in Florida as a kid. So when the opportunity arose, I said, okay, let's make the jump. Let's take the plunge. So I moved kind of away from everything that I'd known in Columbus, Ohio, to move down here to Navistar. Now we have since changed. We're now International Motors. Still international. Just we've gone through a name change, so we're now International Motors. For anybody who doesn't know, but I've been here going on. I think April 5th was 4 years. So I've been here a little over 4 years. Just working in the sales market, and just trying to help out as many people as I can. I've always viewed sales as a way.
When did the name change take place?
So the name change actually took place, I think, at the end of last year, but we officially kind of finalized the name change with everything. I think probably towards the middle of this month, actually, was kind of when officially everything kind of switched over. So.
And that was around the time Trayton purchased Navistar, or purchased a majority share in Navistar, correct?
Trayton actually bought us 4 years ago, so they've been kind of but they've been kind of behind the scenes with it. So
okay.
So Trayton's kind of the intermediary between Volkswagen and us. They're the holding company for a couple of the other companies that they own, Scania, MAN, and all of that. So we were bought in a roundabout way by Volkswagen, Volkswagen Trayton. And so they were kind of working behind the scenes to finalize everything. That was finalized, I think, a few years ago, kind of the beginning of my tenure. And then the name change kind of came out to when we stopped being Navistar and transitioning into International Motors at the end of last year, and then this year we've kind of transferred everything over. So
wasn't the company before it was International first, then they changed their name to Navistar, and now they changed it back to International?
Yeah, so for the longest time we were the International Harvester Company for the longest time, and so there was obviously the farming equipment arm, the International Harvester Company, and we also manufactured trucks. And then I believe, in the early 2000s was when we sold the tractor, the farm equipment arm to Case, so they became Case IH, and so then we rebranded as Navistar.
Now I see what the IH stands for.
Yep.
I always wondered.
Yep. So Case IH, and so then we were Navistar for the longest time, and so then when we were purchased by Trayton and Volkswagen, we were then we were Navistar for the longest time. Then when we were purchased, we then transitioned over to International Motors.
Right. So little tidbit, if nobody ever knew this, but Volkswagen does manufacture their own semi trucks in Europe. And I believe they also make them in South America. International is, I believe, over 100 years old at this point.
I think tell me if I'm correct, but I believe International is the oldest truck brand there is, isn't it?
I believe that is correct.
I believe they're older.
If it's not, it's one of them. Yeah, and International did make pickup trucks at one point. Another
International Scout.
Yeah, the Scout. And matter of fact, they're trying to bring the Scout back as an EV, which is crazy to me. But another interesting tidbit is that International used to build engines for Ford, or was it GM? The V8 diesels. It was Ford.
There were a couple of different collaborations there.
Yeah, they collaborated to build the I think it's the 7-liter V8 diesel engine for their pickup trucks. Don't quote me on that. I read a lot of stuff, throughout my life, so I just know a thing or two every now and again. So sure. Basically what it boiled down to, Austin got too cold in Ohio and moved to Florida and started working at the International dealership.
It is nice to be down in Florida in the warm weather pretty much for 90% of the year. Nothing against Ohio. It's always going to be home. Still, obviously, a big Buckeye fan. Go Buckeyes! Shout out national champions, undisputed. Anyway, but being down here in the warm weather, it is a nice change of pace for sure.
Everybody,
So.
throw your questions in chat while we're chatting it up with Austin. We're gonna get to those comments in a few minutes here. But speaking of Ohio, right? Cleveland
Yeah.
Browns, right? They drafted Shedeur Sanders. But the back office didn't look too happy about it. What's your opinion? What's your thoughts about that?
So here's
First of all, are you a football guy in the first place?
Oh yeah, big football guy.
Oh well, I'm not. So you're gonna give me go ahead and give me the meat and potatoes, man. Go ahead.
Here's the thing that I'm gonna say about Shedeur. Obviously, I think he's a talented quarterback. I don't dispute that he's talented. I think that a lot of what happened to Shedeur, I think most of what happened to Shedeur was Shedeur's fault. I think that Shedeur carried himself like he expected the top pick in the draft, the top, the opportunity to just kind of be handed to him because of his last name and because of the notoriety that comes with it. And I think that kind of sandbagged itself. I think that I think that if he would have handled it in a better way, I think if he would have gone about things just a better way, in a more professional way, and just maybe handled it in a more respectful way, in a more humble way, I think it would have worked out a lot better for him.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, you're okay.
He would have been on a better. So you're saying that he would have been on a better team than the Browns? Because we all know the Browns suck, right?
I don't think it has anything to do with the team. I think that when you skip the combine, you only work out for part of your pro day, and basically interview with nobody. You interview with nobody outside of the top 5 in the league. Because you expect to go in the top 5, and you're not even entertaining interviewing with any team, outside of those top 5 picks. You're basically setting yourself up for, for failure there, because you're not just going to get it handed to you because of your last name. You're not just going to get it handed to you because of just showing up to the combine, at least. And then, from a lot of what was being shown to us, that's at least how it came off.
This is what I was going to say.
They were claiming.
Go ahead.
They were claiming that that he was trying that they were going to attempt to pull an Eli Manning move. I don't know all about that, but you're a football guy. Can you tell us what was that all about? What they were thinking about, this Eli Manning move?
So the day of the draft with Eli Manning and Phillip Rivers. Eli Manning and basically said he was drafted by the Chargers, and Eli Manning said, I'm not going to play for the Chargers. That's not going to happen. I will not go play for them. He tried to pull a John. It was kind of the same. It was a similar situation to John Elway, except John Elway could have went and played baseball and then re-entered the draft at any point that he wanted to, because John Elway was an All-American baseball player at Stanford.
Okay.
Eli Manning was not a baseball player at all. He basically just said, I'm not going to go play for the Chargers. And he was drafted by the Chargers. The Chargers did own his rights. And on the day of the draft, about 25 minutes later after he was drafted by the Chargers, he was traded straight up for Phillip Rivers to the Giants. So that's how Phillip Rivers actually ended up on the Chargers.
Now, if the Sanders family had attempted to do something like that, would it have been effective for them, or
no?
It wasn't. No.
I think just because of all the headache that it would have caused, and I think because of all the negative publicity that it was already causing, I think it would have just not. I don't think it would have worked out for him all that much.
Okay.
Honest.
Yeah. At least I wanted to say something, James.
Yeah.
You sleeping, buddy?
No, I'm letting you guys talk.
Oh, I thought you had wanted to say something earlier. We were talking about this whole football
No,
stuff.
I forgot what I was going to say. It doesn't matter.
So you think he's going to be Shador is going to be a good asset to the team, or are they going to end up trading him before the season starts? Because last I heard, they got four quarterbacks already.
I think that this at least gives him an opportunity to, kind of shore up. At least it gives him an opportunity to really show that he was worthy of a draft pick, and it allows him to at least show that maybe him sliding was a mistake, and it allows him to show that he was worth a draft pick, and maybe he should have gone higher. It's hard to tell. I mean, he's got some stiff competition because he's got two guys ahead of him, plus he got a fellow rookie. So it'll be interesting to see. So
I heard a statement. Everybody said that Cleveland Browns is where QBs go to die. I don't know what that means, but
they've had a lot of different starting quarterbacks over the years. So it'll be interesting to see exactly. It'll be interesting to see exactly how that situation plays out.
Right. So, he got drafted. So, I mean, he got on the team. Let's see what he does. His brother also got his brother didn't get drafted, but he got signed to Tampa Bay as a free agent. So, good luck to both of those brothers. Let's see something happen in the next season. Maybe it was maybe they should have maybe he should have humbled himself, or maybe he was too cocky and he knew what he was about. And we'll see what happens on the gridiron. But anyways, no more truck talk. No more football talk, because that's all the football that I know from then. So let's get into the other meat and potatoes, man. Let's talk about international. Your dealership, and what do you guys specialize in? What do you guys sell?
Sure. So, kind of long story short, guys, just a quick summary. We are, at least in Florida and in 13 other locations across the United States, we are the corporate entity. So I do work for international. So I am technically I'm at least in Florida and across the United States. I work for the corporate entity. I'm the corporate outlet store for Florida. I technically work for Chicago. I'm just based in Florida. So we work on the used side. We help facilitate the trade-ins of the fleet trucks. So just for example, if Schneider or any of the other companies that we've talked about so far, JB Hunt is a big one. We get a lot of their trucks in. If Schneider or JB Hunt were to purchase a lot of new trucks from us, we help facilitate taking those trucks in, and we redistribute them to the secondary market. So, we have a third-party inspector that will come in and inspect those trucks to make sure that they are up to our terms and conditions on the corporate side, that it is something that we would take in and buy back from the companies. And then once those meet our terms and conditions, it's something that we would then buy. And once we acquire them, we're then selling them to guys like you, the two of you, trying to kind of make your way of it. Prime is another example. The two trucks that you got, you guys both each bought a Prime truck. That's another one. They're a very large account of ours. We're getting trucks like those coming in, rolling in constantly. We're constantly getting those trucks as they buy new trucks. We go and acquire those trucks and redistribute them as well.
So I got a question
and
for
it's
you,
only
Austin. I got a question for you, Austin, and then I want to go through some of these comments. Am I able to put your cell phone number down here on the banner?
Sure. Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I want to put that up in just a second, but I've had some troll comments come on here, and I've got an idea. I know where the troll comments came from, and I'll read through them. I'm going to go read them anyways, so everybody can get their laughs on them, and then they'll really get a laugh out of my comment with one of them.
Well, it's called a shit show for a reason.
No,
So.
I got you. Well, you're gonna love this comment by one of our mutual friends. Lance Calhoun said Mercer, Schneider, JB Hunt are mostly contract, while Landstar is 50-50. Little dude in blue, or little dude from 63rd, said he's just messing with me. He's with Mercer right now, and he enjoys it. And there's my wife saying hi to all of us, saying hi to you too, Austin.
Good evening,
Newman
Nicole.
said you need the suck eyes, the worst state ever. Watch it, Newman. We are. Terry B wants me to bring the truck to. Or I thought I had that comment on there. Terry B's
Nah, he
one
wants
said
you to
bring
turn
the
your
truck
phone off.
over.
For the guy who says we are Penn State, let's take back to the last 7 years and see exactly how that's turned out for Penn State versus Ohio State.
So Terry B here says he wants me to bring the truck to Creek Carrier. So here's the comment that I really want to get into. Trucker Todd LLC getting on here trolling, and I didn't think that he would go to this low and start crap. Crete won't take him. 17 jobs in 24 months. Well, guess what? I got more companies that'll take me than companies that will take you because of your accident. So we won't get into any details about that. And I know you're watching through D's channel because I can't block you. So if you want to block him, D, that's totally up to you.
I don't block people, man. You know this.
Yeah.
I don't block people.
He wants to blow punches, then we'll blow punches. I didn't want to get into that. Evening, fellas. 3 Rigs and Company.
It actually came
John
from your
Hunt.
side, not mine. So
He's not on mine, so he must have did himself in.
Oh.
Sorry I'm late. Good evening, Rabbit 18. And guy I don't know, God bless. But the guy you don't know is Austin from International Trucks.
You got dogs. You got dog in the truck with you?
That's me. I'm sorry. He's a dog's in the house. Sorry, guys.
So what you got? Pitbull?
Nah.
How's the A26 treating you? A26 a great motor.
I don't got no problems, no complaints about it.
At all.
Now y'all want to talk about depth systems? We can talk about depth systems, but when it comes to the engine, it does its job. Okay, it that's all I can say. It does its job. It ain't no DD15. Whatever.
Stop. Oh snap! Rabbit throwing punches early. Oh yeah. I figured I would have to throw some punches, but that's okay. It's no big deal. Bacon, Bourbon, and Blue Collar back to Navigance very shortly. Call you tomorrow. Yeah, give me a call, man. What's that?
No, I was just saying. I know that guy. He's a good guy right there.
Oh, you know him? Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I know you do.
We're gonna get him set up in a truck here. He's a good guy right there.
3 Rigs. I'm interested in having the best way to get into an international.
All right, James. Well, not James, but I mean, Austin. That's your question right there, man. What are the options for everybody to get into a truck?
Easiest way. Once James puts my cell phone up on the screen, like I said, shoot me a text with your information. I'll get with you sometime this week. I'll make sure and like I said, give you a call, give you a shout, and we'll like I said, we'll talk about some options. Get you the best way to get you into one, man. No worries.
And all you have is are used internationals, correct?
We do. So I have the ability to get you into other brands. It's just right now maybe a little bit limited. I have access to brands like Kenworths, Freightliners, some Volvos, but it may be a little bit sparse. Us being the corporate entity for international, primarily that's going to be what I have. Probably about 95%.
Is it all now? I know it's all the LT 625s. Do you guys also get to use HXs as well too?
Those are rare. Mostly
That's
those.
I ain't gonna lie to you.
Those are nice trucks, right? As it stands right now, they're starting to come out with those in the sleepers, but I probably won't see those at least for maybe another year or two. Mm-hmm. If I've got any HXs, they're probably going to be in the day cab varieties, and typically those are going to come out of logging operations, at least from what I see down here. What's going on, John? Typically what we see with those HXs, they're more kind of the beefier trucks. They're probably the most comparable to maybe beefier Mack day cabs, just because they're meant to kind of maybe haul some heavier stuff. Mm-hmm. And hence they come out of logging operations a lot. They're really, really nice trucks. They're meant to kind of take a beating and just kind of, stuff kind of bounce off of them and then keep going. I know that's kind of going to be the replacement for, at least from what we've been told, the Lone Stars. they're coming out with maybe the HX sleepers, and they're kind of maybe more of the square body, kind of sharper type of
Yeah, I've seen a
stuff.
guy. There's another guy on YouTube here that has an HX, and he does over the road with it. I mean, looking at it, obviously he got the good angles. You get the good side of the truck, and it's a pretty looking beast of a thing. Those Lone Stars, man, I hate them. I'm not gonna lie to you. They're ugly. They give me nightmares when I'm sleeping. But it's James' favorite truck, so we go back and forth. Me and him go back and forth with it all the time. He was like, man, I love. But he used to have one, and he used to love it. And I used to say, man, I don't like. The truck reminds me of that truck. I don't know if you ever watched the movie from the '90s, Maximum Overdrive.
Mm-hmm.
It has this little green old clown looking. It's like this. What's the premise of the movie? It's a bunch of murdering semi trucks just go around killing people. That's where it got me, man. So, yeah.
I've never seen the movie. We've had a couple of them come through the center. I've liked them, just because I've always liked the look. We've had people come in and buy them, and they've always been real nice looking trucks. At least
most of them were manual or automatic.
The
Lone Stars.
I've had, I think, probably most of them be automatics, but I think I've had one manual. Just because I think typically those are custom orders. I don't have very many fleets that really have those, just because they're their fleet spec trucks. They've they're custom made trucks. It's right. You're gonna go to the dealership and you're gonna request them. They're not a fleet truck. Not very many fleets have those just as like their normal trucks. So.
I gotta go back to that first comment that we had for the night. So Blue Shadow was asking about if you had any Manuels for sale. So do you have any 625s with manual transmission?
I can probably look for some. The short answer is going to be it would be hard for me to find. The reason being is you're seeing a lot of the fleets probably go to the fully automated manual transmissions like the ones that you guys have, only because of a lot of these fleets, for a couple of reasons. The main reason is a lot of these drivers coming out of the truck driving schools, they are looking to kind of just get their CDLs and go. Not saying there's anything wrong with that, but the automatics are easier to get than the manuals. You're going to get the restriction on your license. You're going to have that, the endorsement with the restriction, but it is going to be the easiest to get. You're going to not be able to take as much time to get it. So they're going to capitalize on that because they're still not going to have to worry about trying to sift through the driver pools. Number two, they're a little bit easier to maintain, just because there still is a clutch in the truck, even though it still operates like an automatic. There is going to be a clutch in the truck somewhere. And then number three, it's fuel efficient, and you save the company drivers that have been driving manuals for years. You save their left leg. So manuals.
We got some diehard fans for the Manuels, man. They want their Manuels,
Manuals definitely still exist. They're becoming more of like the custom order that you
custom orders, right?
Yeah, you can still get them, and we still do get them. It's just they're going to be few and far between. I can search for them. I got no problem trying to put some guys into them when they come and ask. It's just they're not as readily available as when I first started. So,
gotcha.
So Chucker Todd just texted me and said that wasn't him, but it was his picture in the avatar. So I don't know how you can duplicate that, but
that was his
that was his picture that's on his page.
That was his tag.
I don't want to get into it, man. This is the one show that I didn't want to.
Did you delete it?
Here it is. Yeah, I deleted it.
Man, I was gonna pull it back up and ask him, "Are you sure that's not him?"
No, I'm not getting into it with him.
Anyways,
let me get back to the comments.
We got a guest tonight. Let's talk about we're talking about trucks here. We're talking about internationals.
Well, let me catch up with the comments. Okay,
Go ahead, do that.
go ahead. You do your thing.
Okay, well I'm gonna go do my thing then. So, why should anybody get an international truck? We got Kenworths, we got Volvos, we got Freightliners. To a lesser extent, we got Mack, Western Stars. For an owner operator, especially one that's starting out, why would an international be a great choice for them?
Personally, just and this is probably going to be, aside from just some personal bias, I do work for the company, but
Absolutely. I mean, that's given.
the international brand, and just the international trucks themselves, I think just the overall cost of ownership, I think, is going to be a little bit more favorable. I think you're going to get a good value of trucks overall for what it is that you're trying to do. Just from a startup cost, especially on the used side, especially you're going to be able to get a used international. You're probably going to be able to buy 3 or 4 used internationals for the same price as you would get any kind of new truck. But just from a cost of ownership perspective, you're going to be able to get into a quality used truck, kind of, a real good bang for your buck type of truck, and just, I think a quality used truck on the market, and it's there's a low cost of maintenance. The trucks last. They're just an overall quality truck, and it's just the useful life of the truck overall. I think it's prolonged better than the rest. A lot of these other trucks on the secondary market. You're seeing a lot of these. You're seeing the international brand and a lot of the international trucks last longer and longer across the secondary market than a lot of these other ones. Not to speak poorly about any other brand in general, just from an international perspective itself. If you take care of your truck, it's going to take care of you.
Absolutely. I believe in that philosophy. It doesn't matter what truck that you own. If you actually do your preventive maintenance and actually work on the small things, it'll last you a little bit longer than most. Because I see a lot of people, they tend to knock the brand. They tend to call them cheap. They tend to say that they're low value. But when you see the average driver out here, like you said, what I would think is a problem with the whole situation is that we have people who only have an automatic restrictions on their license. And what that says to me with a lot of these people is that they don't, even with a company truck, they don't seem to care to take. All I gotta do is put it in drive and just go. I don't check oil. I don't check seals. I don't check grease. I don't do anything. I just don't check the truck out. And a lot of these people, they don't care about these units because technically they don't own them. So they make it look like it's a little bit worse for wear. Now, I'm not gonna lie to you. I was in the camp of before I ever had an international. It was not my first cup of tea. I've always been a Detroit guy. I've always been a Volvo guy, and then I got into an international, and I didn't even get the Cummins. I got the 826 motor, and in driving it, I'm like, well, it ain't half bad. There's really nothing wrong with these trucks. I think the people that complain about them are the people that don't take care of them. And again, like I said, taking care of something, especially when you got to pay for it, and that's the thing that brings the money home. You gotta be a little bit more intimate with these trucks.
You do see. I think a lot of the reluctance to kind of go with the international brand overall, I think, comes from the MaxxForce, which back in the day, that was a black eye for us, the international as a whole.
Right, justified, but yeah,
and it justifiably so. I mean, it was not a great time to own an international, or to probably be selling them. But at the same time, right now we are technically, on the news side, I think we are technically, 4 generations past MaxxForce. We haven't manufactured a MaxxForce since M13, I believe. Since the Max Force, we've come out with the M13A, the M13B. Now we're with the A26, and I think on the new side we're with the S13.
Right.
So technically we're 4 generations past it. On the used side, technically we're 3 generations past it. So International has come a long way, since the shortcomings that engine had.
And I do see a lot of people. They still do have Max Force trucks on the road. I'm not. They're in the international Facebook group that I'm in. Some of them are even past million miles, and it goes back to what I was saying before about just taking care and doing your preventive maintenance. Because we all know about the whole story about the Max Force engine, but by and large, you guys have been able to take care of it. Like you said, the N series was afterwards, then the A26, and even though that the reputations lingered just a little bit more, it actually worked out for those who were trying to buy a truck on a second hand, if you know what I mean. It's a lower price truck with better a better engine and lower cost of entry, and you're right there, doing what you got to do to take care of what you got to take care of.
Exactly.
And the A26 it's not a bad engine at all. It's from what I can remember, it's a European based engine. Like with all engines nowadays, are mostly European based. I think it's from the MAN series. If I can remember correctly, and the engine's pretty stout over there, so it's no difference over here. And now you guys have the new S13, which is a derivative from the Scania unit, and I believe that doesn't have any EGR.
It doesn't have an EGR cooler. There still is a valve because the technology is still dependent upon it, but there's no cooler. Which the cooler itself is the expensive part. The valve itself is not as big of an issue if something were to fail. It's not as expensive as if the cooler fails.
So what have your custom? I'm sorry. Go ahead. Finish.
No, you're good. One of the kind of circling back to the 826 real quick, and I know James and I have talked about this. D, I kind of wanted to, kind of pick your brain about this a little bit. Fuel economy and kind of fuel efficiency. What have you seen? What have you seen since you've been driving? Your 826. Have you kind of seen maybe an uptick in maybe some fuel efficiency in yours?
I don't be worrying about fuel efficiency all that much because, right? My fuel discounts are it's just up here that it really doesn't matter. I do try to stay away from West Virginia with heavy loads because that'll drag you down a little bit. But as of right now, I did reset my fuel economy on the truck, so it's probably not reading as accurate as I think it should, but I can clear a good 1,000 miles before the light comes back on.
Sure.
So
James,
about that.
James, you were telling me, I think probably a week or two after you had picked up the truck, you were pulling some loads. I think you had told me you were pulling a couple, 40,000 pound loads. What would, fuel, miles per gallon, what were you getting with your 826?
According to the dash, I was getting 8.5, 8.6, 8.7 all day long.
Yeah.
The worst I've ever gotten, and this is through the hills and stuff, was 7.5, 7.6.
And that's with a 40,000 pound load, with the 826. Yeah. That's the 826's biggest claim to fame is, you're going to see the fuel efficiency, and you're still able to get the 450 horse. You're still able to get you're still going to be able to get a good amount of power out of the engine, and you're still going to be able to get a lot of fuel efficiency. And that's honestly a lot of money back into you guys' pockets, which when you guys are doing your own thing, and any money that you can have back into your pocket with fuel, depending on the situation, is going to be obviously a big benefit to you guys.
And that's a lot to say too with a relatively small engine.
It's a 13-liter engine.
Small.
Well, compared
to the DD6. Sorry. Go ahead, James. I'll finish that one.
Go ahead.
I was saying, comparing to the Cummins with the 15 liter, the X15, and the Detroit with the DD15, you got a smaller engine and it's still able to, give you some pretty good fuel economy. So
Yeah.
you can't really complain about that all that too much. Now, I would say probably my fuel economy isn't as high as James. It's probably because I still got that check engine light that I never took care of. So, there's that. But that's no knock to you guys or the dealership at all or anything like that. It's just I needed to go to work and I ain't had time to go back. I ain't had time to go back to the dealerships to have them take care of it. So that's gonna be something that I'll have to come out of pocket for, which is fine with me. But like I said, other than that, I got it's a quiet motor. It doesn't regen as much as these other engines that I've had in other trucks before. It's not like I'm regenning not that I'm idling all night or anything like that, but I'm not getting it's not regenning every 5 minutes while I'm sitting there. So that's another good thing that I like about the truck.
James, what were you going to say?
I was just going to tell you that just like what we were talking about, it's not the fastest truck by any means, especially, just coming up to speed, getting started. But what it does have is the pulling power. I've driven the Cummins and compared the Cummins to the A26, and to me, I think the pulling power on the A26 is stronger than the Cummins, in my opinion.
We've got a sales rep in our office that drove trucks before he came to sell. Before he came to sell here with us, and he prefers the takeoff power of the A26 compared to the Cummins all day long. He'll tell customers that just plain as day when they're sitting in his office. So
the Cummins is the only engine I've never had under a hood of a truck. I've driven the PACCAR. I had in a 2020 579. I've had DD15s all day long. I have D13s. I've driven all of those. And for what I can tell you from all the engines that I do like, the A26 is my second favorite. Just second. Can't be number one, man. Sorry. We got some questions here for Austin here in the chat. Let's go ahead and pull them up, see what they got to say.
Go ahead. Pull them up.
Well, I thought you was in charge of the comments tonight, man.
It's okay. Go ahead.
Where we at?
Last one was Bacon Bourbon Blue Collar. He's at the house sipping some bubbles.
Some bubbles. Well, I gotta scroll, find that.
Bearded Diesel Guy is the next one. And he says it's a good engine, just like other manufacturers. Most of the issues are emissions related. Absolutely. Emissions are always going to be the issues and the problems. Little dude from 63rd. What's the down payment to get a truck at International? I have an SFI truck, but I'm keeping my options open.
So that's actually a great question and a good segue, kind of just the stuff I wanted to talk about tonight. First-time financers, especially if this is your first time buying a truck from us, just kind of what we've seen over the course of my career here. First-time financers, whatever it is you're going to buy, you're going to look to probably put down at least 20 to 25%. It's 20 to 25%. That's the minimum. Reason being, these loans are commercial business equipment loans. These aren't car loans. These aren't your typical. These are a different type of loan. Hence, they carry different interest rates. They carry a significantly higher type of risk. At least in the bank's eyes. This is not my eyes. This is just to the banks themselves. Obviously, credit depending. It could be more. It could be less. Previous truck financing experience can be beneficial. It can affect terms. It can affect down payment. Your personal credit will play a factor, like I said, especially with limited credit history. Your comparable credit's important, guys. If you have a good amount of comparable credit to where you've got some stuff paid off, Like if you've got some, a couple of cars paid off, if you've got a couple of personal loans paid off, if you've got some stuff that's going to look good in the eyes of the banks, you may, be surprised at what the banks can offer you. If you've got, James has sold cars. If your 750 credit score just based off a couple of credit cards, your credit may be considered a little bit light, so you may need a little bit more just to kind of be considered, for a bank in this kind of a loan. You when the bank a lot of the stuff that the banks look at, they look at your driving experience. The more the better. A lot of the banks will probably want at least about 2 years of driving experience. James has over 20 years of driving experience with a couple of different companies, so that's obviously going to look good for the bank's eyes. Dee's got a good amount of driving experience with a couple of different companies, obviously looks good for the bank. Dedicated work is going to look better than just random load board stuff. The banks just kind of want to see where the money's coming from. The banks also look at how leveraged you are. They want to look at, how much available credit you have for emergencies. They want to look at, if something happens to your truck, where's that? How are you going to fix that? If you have no remaining balances on any of your credit cards, if you've got no available credit, how is the truck going to get fixed? Because stuff does happen. Your truck does break down. Stuff does happen with your truck. And then, like I said, comp credit, pay history, the better this is, the easier financing can be. So long story short, I did just throw a lot of information at you guys, but at least 20 to 25% is kind of a good estimation is where you're going to want to start of whatever it is that you're going to buy. But it's not as easy just to say, 20 to 25%, your credit profile as far as the application, it does kind of play a factor. There's going to be some different mitigating factors that kind of determine that. So
to add to that, and I know what you're saying, because like you said, I did sell cars, but a lot of people don't know this, but the F-Series pickup trucks, you got your F-150, 250, 350, and they go all the way up to, I don't even remember how far they go up. But when you go to 450 or higher, do you know and are aware that you got to get commercial insurance? And just like the financing, you got to go to commercial financing. So every time I'd get a customer in, they'd come in, they said, well, my credit score is 850. Why do I got a 15% interest rate on a 450? Well, you got a commercial. And then they go and get commercial insurance. Guess what? It's sky raked up there too. They don't realize that until they have already signed on the dotted line. But we'll get to this next comment here. Rich, when is the 9900 going to get back on the road? I don't know exactly who that was directed to. Mike says, put his number in the chat. I had it in there for a long time for you, so you should.
You can put it back in there. No worries.
Ritters, Austin, can you get your hands on a Cummins with a manual?
Short answer is I can. Long answer is will probably take some time to track down.
Okay.
Give me your info. Give me a little bit of time. I can work my way through it.
All right. So Country's on here, says, hey, what's up, Country? Glad to have you back here. Bearded Diesel guy coming from a 17-year-old international dealer. The biggest issues that drivers are having with lack of maintenance that is performed. Okay, so you got a guy here that's it's international for 17 years.
Yeah.
Okay. Newman attack. I drove a Lone Star with the Max engine for 300,000 miles. He had no issues. So that's what I always heard. The Max motor was either an issue or wasn't an issue, and people that deleted them said it was the best running motor ever when they deleted them.
The motor itself was a good engine itself. A lot of it just came from a lot of the emissions system that they strapped to it, because the motor came from a motor that they had continuously made. It was just a lot of the EPA and a lot of the emission stuff that they'd strapped to it. A lot of times, if there were, it was like clockwork. Once they came out with some fixes and some tips on how to run the motor effectively, it actually the Max Force ended up being somewhat of a success. It just ended up, they came
It
out with
already
a lot of
been
those
branded.
fixes and it had already been branded, and they came out with a lot of those fixes too late. So a lot of the damage had already been done.
Yeah, and I know I was muted here earlier. I forgot I had muted myself, but I was gonna go back to that comment about that 9900, man. Those are a beast of a truck.
The
You know what I'm
9900s
saying?
are nice
I
trucks.
think
They
the
were.
HX is what's going to actually replace because it looks
That's
a lot like the 90 the 9 series as opposed to the Lone Star. So
yeah.
you know,
I think the HX is going to be kind of the all encompassing. I think when they come out with the sleeper version, you're going to kind of see, I think, kind of a merging together of like the 99 eyes and the 99 eyes and the Lone Star. It's kind of all encompassing kind of solution to that.
uh-huh. And also the like we were just saying earlier, just it's not the engines, these trucks. And yeah, I'll put the Packard in it as well too. It's a really great engine. It has a B10 rating, you know, but the problem isn't really with these engines. More have to do with these emission systems that are tied to them that are giving these trucks all these failure rates that are going on nowadays.
So Bearded Diesel Guy says EGR on the S13 is used for heat generation and control of the aftermarket treatment system. I think I put treatment in there, didn't mean to, but EGR is used for NOx and cylinder replacement.
Yeah, yeah. There's an EGR valve, but there is no EGR cooler, so it's a very very simplified system, and it's very nice.
Mm-hmm.
So Ritter's Real Road Dog says, what kind of price range on these trucks, the 21s to 22s?
It's going to be dependent upon the miles. I'd probably have to look just to see kind of what inventory is shaken up or is shaken out to be. But you can probably, depending on kind of what you're looking for, I think if you're an 826, you're probably going to be somewhere in the 50s and 60s. If you're looking for a Cummins, maybe high 50s, maybe even below 70s, depending on the mileage range.
Are we able
Um,
to look up the current inventory online right now, or?
you can. It's internationalusedtrucks.com. It just may
Hmm.
not have exactly everything that's on our lot because because we've had such a shuffling of inventory. It may not be the most up to date just because we haven't had a chance to get our guy in to take some pictures and list some stuff. So bear with us. Bear with us on that. We've had quite the shuffling of inventory in and out. So.
Well, let's see if we can. While you guys are still doing that, I'll just see pull up some
We're caught
examples
up
of
on all the
units that you
comments.
guys
Everybody's made all
may
their
have
comments.
in
We're
the
caught up.
yard.
Why don't you go over your list of stuff that you had there, Austin, that you wanted to go over?
Sure. Just I've already kind of gone over financing, but just kind of a brief kind of intro. That was kind of a brief kind of kind of stuff to kind of look out for. As far as financing goes, but these guys will attest. James and D, but the app goes to me first, and then I kind of confirm some information with you. And then I work with the bank directly. So I will then submit it to my finance department. It goes to Navistar Financial first. And then my rep at Navistar Financial will try and match your application up with what bank we think will give you the best odds at approval. So but no bank will ever contact you probably at least until the very end when it's close to funding. D and James can kind of attest to this. They both got on with Dakota. Dakota probably didn't really talk to them until probably towards the very end just to kind of confirm that they were sending funds. I'm working to kind of gather all the information with them. It's a very, very personal experience. It's a very, very one-on-one. You're not dealing with a bunch of bankers. You're dealing with me kind of from start to finish. We do have in-house financing options. We have Navistar, I say Navistar Financial. We're now International Financial because we've changed names. If we can't get you done with International Finance, we have partner lenders that we do work with: Dakota Financial, Northland Credit Corporation. We work with the BMOs of the world. We work with Crossroads. We work with Compass. We work with Balboa. We work with, let's see, who else? Keystone. Keystone's another big one. We just started working with Factotal. We started working with a couple of others, but they are. It is expanding, but we're not just a one-stop shop, and we offer financing as a service. So we're here to help you sell a truck. We're here to help you get into a truck, help you finance a truck. So. As far as insurance goes, guys, I'm going to speak a little bit for Florida just because I've only have experience with dealing with insurance in Florida. These guys will attest to this a little bit. For me, it's got to be at least 30 days of insurance just to make sure we get you a temp tag so you can leave the lot. Most of the banks that we deal with will fund off of just bobtail insurance. This is a big one. This is a big question that I get all the time. So really the only thing that, at least that we need to write you the temp tag is bobtail insurance. Bobtail insurance, another name for it is non-trucking liability. So we don't need the full coverage, full pop liability for the whole year, anything crazy like that. I don't need anybody to get the full like $30,000 a year policy, the crazy expensive anything. The physical damage insurance itself is not expensive. That's going to be what the bank needs in order to cover its asset. So that's usually never all that expensive if you're going out and getting their own policy. And then non-trucking liability, again, probably shouldn't be more than maybe $300 to $400 a month. And the deposit on that's usually not expensive either. A lot of times, a lot of owner-operators, such as the two of you gentlemen, will need bobtail insurance anyway, just to be able to move the truck around from carrier to carrier, especially if you're switching carriers. Mm-hmm. So it's beneficial so that you keep that insurance no matter what. James Smith, who's friends with Mr. Fly Rabbit, I know he was running into some issues when we were trying to fund his loan. He finally ended up calling a local Progressive agent that he had dealt with a few years ago. Guy ended up helping him out real nice with a really inexpensive kind of comprehensive both collision and non-trucking liability. Said he was going to end up keeping that just in case he ended up switching carriers. He's going to use that just in case, so that way he can move his truck around no problem. A lot of times what you'll get with that bobtail insurance, you need that in order to get to your carrier, so then you can go through your inspection, whether it be the Landstar one like D or the Schneider one like James had when he was coming and buying his truck from me. That way then they can then insure their truck with Schneider's insurance, Landstar's insurance, what have you. But long story short, guys, I don't need the full. Nobody needs the full, the full liability, the full crazy expensive physical damage, especially when you're just trying to get just the bobtail, just the physical damage. Don't crush yourself under the weight of some crazy insurance quote. Just get the bobtail liability, physical damage, and you're going to be good to go there. Like I said, if you switch carriers in order to move your truck around, you're going to need bobtail insurance anyway. It's like I said, bobtail's cheap, so it makes sense to just keep it wherever you're going to get it from.
Right, and that's the thing that I did. I went ahead and got outside insurance as a safety precaution, just in case I lose my contract. I don't feel like calling up somebody to just get a quote for a bobtail to bobtail home. I just have my insurance. If I end up leaving Landstar, I want to go to another carrier. I just want to quit and just chill out for a little bit. I still have my bobtail. I just hop in the truck and just go about my business. I don't have to call Landstar and request anything,
James, that number is 614, not 604.
Oh, okay.
Well, you got these people calling somebody else's phone number. That's why he ain't been getting no text messages this whole time.
No, you're good. No, you're good. It was right all the other times. Just that one. It was 614, not 604. You're good. You're all right.
All right. So I got some used inventory that you guys currently have on the ground here, at least what's showing on the internet. Since Ritter was asking about prices, let me go ahead and pull that up and just see what it looks. See what he has here. So I'm gonna have to make my screen a little bit bigger so I won't be able to see you guys here in a moment. So here we are. Anybody got a particular truck they want to look at?
Yes.
Just put it in the comments. James, you let me know because I am not looking at the screen. Yep. I won't see you guys here, but we got some manager specials here going on. You tell us a little bit about this manager special thing?
Yeah, so manager special, guys, basically the gist of these, the trucks are priced to sell, so they're probably going to be towards our Probably towards our buy numbers on the trucks. I don't know if I'm going to have much room to negotiate on them, but they're priced kind of at a lower price point than what they normally would be advertised for. So definitely at a good deal compared to what they would be in the market, especially because we're expecting some price increase with the tariffs. On the new side, so you're probably going to see some increases on the used side on the price points, but they're going to be at some good price points there. The manager specials are going to be at some lower cost, but some good price points in order to kind of come into the marketplace a little bit. There's a 2020 there. Let's see with those blue stripes. I think that one's probably going to be priced at about 40. Is that what that says?
It is at 40 flat.
Yep, 40 flat, that's like I said, good amount of miles on that truck. 826 motor, really in good condition. That one came out of Cottrell. Really nice truck overall. Can get some other pictures of that truck upon request. But A26 condo sleeper, really nice truck overall. But you're getting, like I said, I would like to have other trucks on the website, but just because we've had some shuffling in and out, we're in the process of getting some more pictures and just some more updated inventory, up-to-date stuff on the website. So bear with us. We're in the process of doing that. So
Austin got a comment here from Green Star Logistics, which is Jose. He said, give him a call. He's still waiting on you, is what he's saying.
Yeah. Jose, Jose, I'm actually waiting on you, man. Not gonna get into that situation here on the live, but Jose, I'm waiting on you. Just waiting to see exactly how you're looking to handle the repairs on that truck. Still need you to kind of go do your part on that one. So
are we talking about the same Jose? I'm talking about the one from Indianapolis that doesn't have a truck.
No, different Jose. Jose has since bought a truck.
Okay, I knew that Jose did. So the Green Star Logistics Jose is the one you're talking to.
Correct. Yes.
What kind of repairs is he needing on?
He has. We're looking to repair some shocks on his truck.
But he doesn't have your truck though. That's the Jose that doesn't have a truck.
No. Green Star Logistics. He has since bought a truck from us.
Okay, I got you.
And he is under our 60-day protection promise. That's one of the warranty options, and we're looking to definitely repair those. There's just a process that I have to follow with that warranty that we got to make sure and get it repaired. So
can you give us more detail about that 60-day warranty, how that works?
Well, let's hold on. Let's hold on a second here. So the other Jose, I did speak with him last week because me and you had that conversation. Give him a ring later this week, okay?
Okay. Yeah, absolutely. 100%.
Yeah, he's still wanting to get into a truck.
Sure, that'll work. I can do that. Absolutely.
We're looking at this red one right here, man. Viper red. It's a beautiful looking truck right here.
Yeah.
It's really nice. 826, 39.9 for it.
That one actually came out of our Pascal fleet, and that's actually a really nice truck in itself. Pascal is a really nicely spec truck. Any of you guys that know of James Smith, he just picked up a truck from us. He's having a lot of nice luck in his truck from us. Also, Jeffrey Wright's Trucking. He bought a truck from us, both referrals from James himself. He actually bought a Pascal truck from us as well, both really nicely spec'd. So if anybody has any questions about how those trucks specifically are spec'd and how well those kind of fare, those guys are great guys to kind of reference and everything. But Pascal does a really good job of speccing those trucks for the owner-operators on the secondary market. Both of those will come with at least inverters to run on the trucks. But I think on Jeffrey Wright's, he was fortunate enough to get into a battery APU on his 2022 Pascal. So he kind of has the dream setup on his truck, and a lot of those were pulled from me. So we actually ran out of those trucks. So, but those 2021 Pascals, I still have a few of those trucks left. So those are actually going to be really nice trucks for anybody to own. As far as those go. So those ones are really nicely spec'd, double bunk sleepers, 826, relatively low miles. So really good option.
Color too. I mean, call it Viper Red. That's a pretty badass color if you ask me. Let me see if I can find another one here. Let's take a look at. Let's see here. Let me see if I can find me a Cummins in here.
Bear with me 1 second, guys. Let me grab a phone charger.
Yep, you do your thing. See
Read this comment in here.
Right here. Yep, read your comments.
Well, it's just one. He's going to ask Austin, what's the price of extended warranties through International?
Okay. Anybody interested in getting into a flatbed? They do have the mid roofs, and this one actually has the electric ADU on the corner, right
and the
there.
frame's extended. And the frame's extended.
And you got extended frame. So this one, 2021, 625, and it's 53 for it. So it's not a bad looking truck. Let's take a look at the. Let's take a look more at these pictures here. And it's already set up with the lights, so this truck's already been pulling flatbed before, so that's gonna be nothing new to this truck. It's got the X15 in it. Seem too bad. I think these are still drum brakes on here as well too. So 53 for this one. This one's also Viper Red, the X15 with the 12-speed automatic, 435,000 miles. So you're gonna get it with pretty lowish miles, 236 wheelbase, right there, and a 264 rear axle. So you'll definitely get be able to pull it with the 264. Let me check out one more truck here. See if I can find another one. And I'm only just showing the ones that are in Tampa. They do have different locations throughout the country as well too. I could spot an ex-JB Hunt truck from a mile away, and that's this this one's right here, for 58.5, 340,000 miles on it, X15 automatic. Well, I can tell that these are ex-JB Hunts because the sleepers are a tad bit shorter than the.
We do have some bigger sleepers in that variety as well. We do.
I got a big sleeper. Me and James, we got the big sleeper, but we could always tell when it's a JB Hunt truck because these trucks are used more for like local work or dedicated more for the dedicated side as well too. I believe that this one comes with disc brakes. I can see that.
Yeah, the JB Hunt trucks, they do make them in the 73-inch sleeper variety. They do, and I am seeing a little few of those start to roll in. And a lot of the benefit of the JB Hunts, it's probably the only fleet that I have currently that does this, but they will turn those in with brand new rubber on the drive tires.
Yeah, I know it was a thing for me having retreads. I don't like retreads for the life of me, but I got them replaced. It is what it was. But hey, I'm looking at these prices of these trucks, man. I'm saying, dang, I got a banging job of a deal compared to what we got going on right now.
Prices are going up, and what I'm reading, everything's going to go down again. Did you hear that too?
Pricing is gonna go. We're probably not gonna see pricing go like it was during COVID, but pricing is definitely we're gonna see slow upticks only because of maybe at least initially only because of the tariffs, and probably on the new side you're probably gonna see some price increases just because of on the new side it's gonna be a little bit more expensive to get into. You get into new trucks, you're probably going to see it trickle over onto the used side as well. They may go down a little bit maybe towards the end of the year, but as of right now, you may see just some slight slow price increases. It's not going to be anything crazy, at least as of right now, but you're definitely going to see some. You're definitely going to see some prices increase as of right now, just some small ones. That one actually, that's like Jeffrey Smart's truck.
Yeah. So bearded diesel guy said, "What's the price of the extended warranties through International?"
Yeah. So I can dive a little bit into that. I don't have the price cards in front of me, but you're probably, depending on how you want to bundle it, I can probably get you into just a simple engine and after treatment warranty. I believe if you want to go 6 months, you're at about $2,500. If you want to go a year, you're at about $5,100. And then if you want to go 2 years, you're at about, I believe, roughly about $7,500 just on the engine and after treatment. And then I have different bundling options there. But guys, just to kind of segue a little bit into warranties, just to kind of go into the warranties a little bit to kind of segue. Because I work for the manufacturer, I can offer factory OEM backed warranties on these trucks. So the benefit of having factory backed warranties on these trucks, there's no deductible, there's no maximums or limits, and parts and labor are covered 100%. These would be for additional cost on top of these trucks. So it would be something that you would add on to whatever cost you see listed on the website here. There are different options besides just the simple engine and after treatment warranty. We also offer third-party warranties. I am a dealer for both National Truck Protection and Truckmaster Warranty. There's different packages that you can kind of go into with that can kind of make them similar to. You can kind of make them similar to these OEM warranties. However, there are. With there being third-party warranties, there are certain limitations with those. You do have deductibles. There are limits of liability with certain different packages. So there are differences, but you can kind of make them exactly what you want. I think, D, I know you told me you did get on with National Truck Protection. And I know James. I know James. I know you said you were kind of maybe looking at that maybe down the road a little bit.
Yeah, I got it through Landstar, so I'm not.
Okay.
There's benefits with that. So
of course. And then a little bit, guys. And James is definitely taking advantage of this, and I know D definitely has as well. Any truck you buy from us has what we call our 60-day truck protection promise, and that's with the no charge. And basically, how that kind of shakes out, there's going to be stuff that probably it can be not caught, or there's going to be stuff that maybe flares up in the first 30 or 60 days with these trucks. It's a used truck, stuff happens, right? In the first 30 days, as long as it's a covered component, we cover it 100%. The biggest thing, guys, with this is, you have to take it to an international dealer because that's who we're authorized to take it to. Have you take it to. So basically how it works is, if something comes up, you give me a call and say, hey, look, this is what's going on. James, when James picked up his truck, there was a check engine light that popped up, right after delivery. We said, hey, let's get you into an international dealer's, as quick as we can. We had him take it to a dealer that was actually really close to his house. He was able to schedule something. I said, James, we do need an estimate because we do work off of estimates. So long story short, guys, it was within the first 30 days. James was able to get me an estimate from the dealership. Dealership was right by his house. That dealership got me an estimate. I submitted the estimate for approval. We coordinated with getting parts shipped over to the dealership. We got the estimate approved before any repairs even started and took place. Once that estimate was approved, which took I think half a day, we got parts ordered, shipped the parts to the dealership. And then the repairs, I think, took maybe a day or two. And then I think James was back driving. I think by either that following Monday or I think he was able to pick up his truck. I think, what was it, that Friday, James?
So let me give a big shout out, man, because you're exactly right. That check engine light came on immediately after I drove off your lot. And I actually drove around, came back, and you told me it's nothing that really that needs to be too serious, but we need to get it fixed. And I immediately called the international dealership in my hometown. And shout out to Cumberland International in Palm Bay, Florida. And shout out to Tampa International, too, because you guys jumped on top of it. You worked together. And literally, that truck was fixed in 36 hours.
Yeah.
Everything was fixed.
Yeah. As long as we have an estimate, guys, the contract that you sign with us, the 60-day truck protection promise, you got to take it to an international dealer. The contract does state very specifically that you have to take it to an international dealer. The estimate must be approved by international. But once the estimate's approved, as long as it's something that we'll cover, we do end up covering it. No big deal. So, as long as it's something that we're gonna cover, you know, we can look to ship parts, you know, we can look to get it taken care of as quick as we can. But as long as it's within the first 30 days and something we're gonna cover, you know, we do cover it. We work with the dealership correctly. We cut them a PO, and you know, we handle it from there. And within
And
the first,
also,
you go ahead.
yeah, I also want to give a shout out to you guys as well too, because when I got my truck, when I went in, it did take me a couple of days to actually get on the road because you know Landstar, that's how Landstar works. I finally got on the road, pulled my first load, and I had a check engine light. And I also had the issue with my fifth wheel slider not connected, which was like a really big thing. So, you know, I ended up, you know, me being me, finding my little ways around the situation until I could get the truck back home. And when I actually put it in the shop, this is what I like about you guys and International Tampa right across the street from you guys here, is that not only did you guys fix the problem, you guys fixed the issue. You guys they tested the truck out before they called me and for me to come and pick it up. And when they tested it out, I end up having to get my VGT actuator replaced as well too. I didn't have to, you know, It's not like everything else got fixed and then you guys just gave me back the truck knowing that there was an issue there, and I just kept going on down the road, and then boom, you know, Bob's your uncle. He was like, hey, we got another issue. We're gonna take care of it. You ain't got.
They go through quality control. Yeah,
right.
They're gonna QC it. They're gonna go through quality control. If something else would have popped up, you know, if something else would have popped up, which ended up happening, you know, they jumped on and they addressed it while it's there, just to make sure we're good to go. So
right, and I didn't have to, like I said, didn't have to come back with the truck again, do all the stuff over. The truck was already there. They took care of it. And then got back on the road.
No. The nice thing too, guys, with the 60-day truck protection for anybody who's listening to, you know, second set of 30 days, you know, day 31 through 60, you still get the same. It's still the same deal, except it's a 50-50 split. So day 31 through 60, you know, same process still applies. You still go get an estimate. You still go to an international dealer. You still say, hey, here's what's going on. You still send me the estimate. I still submit it for approval, and we're going to split it with you 50-50. So you're still going to get that. You're still going to get that coverage. You still get a little bit of coverage. You still got to come out of pocket a little bit, but it's still not for the entire repair. So benefits and drawbacks. Obviously, that 60-day truck protection promise only does last the 2 months, the 60 days. However, you know, you do still get that coverage from us. Obviously, if you do want more, we do have other. In summary, you do have other warranty options that you can purchase, you know, for additional cost from us. We do have 6-month options. We've got 1 year and 2-year options as well. So
we had some questions that popped up. Green Star Logistics popped up. Says, Austin, what company do you guys use for the tires, and how many miles are they supposed to last?
Company we use for the tires, unless we put the tires on them themselves, the tires that came in, the tires, unless we put them on themselves, the tires that are on the trucks are what they came in with.
And this is for me. Does James know Just Trucking? So Rocky Mountain Truck, I don't know Just Trucking, but I have met him before. I don't know what you're looking for out of that, but yeah, I've met him, but I do not know him.
Oh, man.
I almost feel like that was a troll question again.
It wasn't a troll. I don't know. I don't know what to make of it. I don't know about these people nowadays, man. It's the shit show. People want to come and do the shit on the shit show. So there you have it. So let's see.
Anybody got any questions? Pop them up.
Yeah, that's all I really have to talk about, guys. I mean, if you guys have any other specific questions for me or anything that you know, specifics that you have kind of about what I do, or you know, anything that the comments that you guys want to go over. I mean, if there's anything else specifically that you have for the guys, I mean, like I said, more than happy to answer them while I'm here. You know, absolutely 100%. So
if it's something you guys want to talk to Austin in privacy, I mean, he answers his phone all the time. If he doesn't,
I do.
Leave him a message, he'll call you right back.
Shoot me a text. Leave me a message. Like I said, if I don't if I'm not immediately in the middle of if I don't answer, I'm in the middle of something that I will make sure to do my best to give you a call back at my earliest convenience. So
It's kind of weird tonight. We didn't have a big turnout, surprisingly.
Well, there's almost 30 people in here tonight. What are you talking about? It was
I
big
had
enough.
25 was the biggest one. Andre C., what did I miss? Might want to go back and watch the replay. Got Austin from International Used Trucks in here. If you have any questions about financing, buying a truck, anything. Green Star Logistics, the warranty is cash, or you have financing options for it.
Jose, you've bought a truck from me before. I mean, you just did buy a truck from me, so I mean, if you have any specific questions, I can definitely answer some questions in private. But warranty, you can finance the warranty if you so choose. I can't sell warranties just by themselves. It's the way our dealership is set up.
So after we buy the truck, we can't buy a warranty after that? I
You
can't
can't-
just come in and be like, can I buy a warranty from you?
You can from a dealership, like a new truck dealership, not from me.
Okay.
I am not able to sell dealer or warranties as separate line items. That's our dealer. Our dealer's license does not allow us to do that. So,
Gotcha.
Well, you can thank the state of Florida for that. I know how that works.
yeah, they have certain different. Our dealer's licenses are coded certain ways, and so if they're coded, if our dealer's license was coded a certain way, 100%, absolutely, we could do it that way. But the way ours is coded, it's got to be at point of purchase and only at that point. So
Right. So we talked earlier about the we talked about some of the fleets where you guys acquired these trucks from. Are there any other carriers that you guys get them from? I know we talked about Prime, because that's where the trucks where me and James got JB Hunt.
yeah.
The Viper Red trucks, you said they came from where again?
The Viper Red ones, those ones are Pascals.
Pascal truck line.
I've got them from Pacific Shipping. I get them from Schuster, Prime, JB Hunt. Locally, I've been getting them from Bulk Transport. Let's see, where else? Where else are we getting them from? That one.
Coastal.
Yeah, Coastal, Bulk Transport. They're kind of all under the same umbrella, but absolutely. That one with the blue lines, that's a Cottrell truck. That's the first time I've actually gotten one of those trucks in here. I actually have
that green company.
Those are Cowans.
Okay.
I get Cowans in here. I get Cowans in here all the time. I do have the other company that Cowan bought. I can't think of it off the top of my head, but I had a couple of them. I was quoting a couple of guys on them. The name escapes me, but I'll think of it here in a little bit. I have had Hirschbach trucks in here before. I haven't had them in here in a little bit, but I have had them in here at one point. But I have had Crete trucks in here. They were the Crete Freightliners. I haven't had any Crete Internationals.
So you do sell sometimes you do sell more than just international trucks.
Correct. Yeah, I would tell you about 95% of the time I'm going to have international, just because I'm a division of the manufacturer.
Guy, yeah.
But
do you take trade-ins from private sellers? Like, say for instance, I want to get another truck. Can I trade in my truck to you?
It is something that I would look at. It just depends on if we are in the process of taking trade-ins. I know right now they did shut off our buying program, so it would be kind of a case-by-case basis. So it would just kind of depend. It would be dependent upon what we would find.
So you're telling me a guy rolls in with a nice W900 and he wants to trade that in for a 625, you ain't gonna take it?
It would be probably a little too old, only because.
But one of those brand new W9s, it's a 2020
that would be a hard truck for him to sell, believe it or not, because they're based in international.
Well, only because a lot of our a lot of our business comes from financing, and a bank. It's going to be hard for a bank to finance a used truck probably over at this point probably over 5 to 6 years old. So if we're looking at one of those like older W900s or something that's going to be, I mean, right now you're probably going to be hard pressed for a bank to finance a 2019. So if somebody's probably coming and try and finance maybe a 2013 or 2014, it's something we would look at. But for me to take it in on trade, it might be a little tough. You might have a better time trying to privately sell that truck and then just bringing me the cash that you would bring from the down payment.
Yeah, I forgot I was cooking chicken this whole time, right? And I just started smelling. I'm like, hold on, I need to go check this thing and make sure I didn't even burn it.
What the hell?
Oh, man.
So, Ritter's Road Dog asked, where do the yellow trucks come from? They're the ones that come from Coastal, right?
Those are the Pacific shippings out in Colorado.
Okay.
Those ones with the green chassis, green frames.
I got you. Okay.
Yep, absolutely.
We're like a whole hour in. I just forgot all about the darn chicken. I turned it down low, and then I just forgot all about it.
At least he turned it down low.
Oh man, I gotta finish doing this stuff here. I got some peppers and onions I gotta throw in here, and some green beans.
And you should have invited some people over to eat with you or something, man.
Yeah.
I did. You didn't see my Landstar buddy came in earlier today to come get because I made some peppers and some sausage and peppers, and I just gave it. I gave him half. I took half and gave him the other half, and I said, "Fuck it, man. There you go. Have fun with it." So yeah.
All right, guys. Anybody got any questions? Pop them up. We're getting close to that 2-hour mark.
Yeah, we're getting close to that 2-hour mark, man. Show's been good. I mean, a lot of people came in asking questions about trucks.
Yeah.
Like I said, we got Austin here tonight from International Use down in Tampa, Florida. That's where we got our trucks from. And, all things considered, I ain't have a tow. Did you have a tow yet?
Have a what?
Did you have a tow yet?
No. What's that?
So we got good trucks.
No.
Yeah, we got good trucks. Trucks ain't been towed yet. They're pretty good. They've been pretty solid. They've been, I take care of my stuff, so.
Well, I was looking at the ticker. We've had 81 people on my channel watch this so far. So we've gotten some people that have looked. Usually what happens, we get about 100 or so before we end the show after 2 hours, and then we get another 150 to 200 after that. So somewhere around 250, 300 is where we usually end up with our lives. Sure. And that's just on my channel. I don't know how many D produces on his. Because we're broadcasting from both of our YouTubes right now.
Sure, absolutely.
If you had one, we'd put it on yours.
I've been thinking about it for sure.
You should do one, man. You really
I know.
should.
I probably need to at some point.
But I know me and Austin, we talked about this a couple weeks before the Mid-America Truck Show, but I'm going to have some stuff lined up here because everybody else complains that I don't make videos. And when I make them, I make some pretty good videos, but I just never make any videos. But I got some things in the work here. We're going to get, it'll be coming soon enough. You guys will get to check out and see firsthand some of these units that they have on the yard. We're just working out the details on that, but that's something that we're gonna have. I'm gonna have for you guys soon enough because it's out of me sitting in the hotel on the weekends. I just go home. And I'm going. Might as well go ahead and make some videos about trucks, right? So
Andre's asking how long are the warranties. So Austin just did a real long spill on warranties. It'd probably be best if he just caught the replay, wouldn't he?
Just
give a quick rundown.
Yeah, just a real quick rundown. Like I said, real in-depth detail about you can run it back, but just real quick terms on warranties. You can do 6 months, 1 year, 2 year, and I forgot to probably mention this earlier. We can look to do 3, but it's more of a custom quote. Kind of build it, and it might take a little bit longer to get the quote, but typically the bread and butter is going to be 6 months, 1 year, 2 year type of stuff. So
So your boy Newman just said it's hard to make videos from your couch.
Well, it's a good thing I'm not sitting in the couch today. I'm sitting in something else. I'm in the hotel. I got this nice little sweet hotel that got set up here, man. One thing though, I've been trying to find it. Oh, there it is. I've been looking for that thing back there, the thermometer for a while. I was like, it's a little.
Thought you were looking for the safe to put all your money in that you're making.
They don't have one, man. And that's what banks are for.
Back in the old day, man, they put the money in the safe.
Yo, some of these hotels they do still have them, but sure. This one right here,
most hotels do.
Yeah, this hotel isn't too bad itself. You know, the only thing that I don't like, I'm in the inside.
You want to tell everybody your location where you're at?
But the porch is on the inside of the hotel. If you get what I'm saying, like it's.
You want to tell everybody where you're at?
No, I don't want to tell nobody where I'm at because I'm still gonna be here for a couple of days, and no, I
didn't mean that. What you're doing while you're in a hotel? I know you said it at the beginning.
I know. I'm in the hotel
because give me your coordinations where you're at there, buddy. Jesus.
Oh man, look, I'm in the hotel because I'm getting ready to do flatbed training. More specifically, I want to do step deck. I am bored of doing dry van, and maybe I start pulling one of those loads, and I'm like, yeah, this isn't for me. I'll be back in a dry van trailer in a hot jiffy. But yeah, I'm ready to expand a little bit. You know, the truck can take it. And it's just step deck. Ain't nothing crazy. Nothing too serious.
Dude said the room has a porch?
Yes, the room has a porch. Like it literally, like back there, I don't know if you guys can see it, but that little slit right there, that's the porch. And the porch is facing the dang the hotel lobby in the front. So it's like I can't even go out there and do anything crazy. You know? Can't even walk around butt naked on the porch because the lady that's checking in is looking directly at me, you know.
Well, they'd be calling you the fat Akon, like they say on the other show.
I am not. You're not even fat, man. I just got a little extra. I
want to know if you're hanging out
on a little extra protein. That's all, man.
Well, Austin, we appreciate you coming in, man.
I appreciate it, guys. I really do, gentlemen. It's been a pleasure. It's been a pleasure just kind of being able to get on here and talk about it, and it's been a pleasure getting able to catch up with y'all. And I really appreciate you having me on the show for sure. And if anybody has any questions, or if I could be of any assistance in the future, and if anybody in the comments or anybody listening to the show is looking to get into a quality used truck, you know, please feel free to reach out. These guys have my number. These guys are more than happy to, you know, send them my way. And, you know, like I said, we'll go from there. We'll make sure and we won't steer you wrong for sure.
Do you have an email?
I do.
I don't know if people still do emails.
I do, but that's a good way to reach out to me as well. It's going to be my first name dot my last name. So it's going to be austin.miller@international.com.
Can they reach you out on Facebook?
They can if they want
Instagram.
to. I would prefer probably either the email or text, but if they want to find me on Facebook, they can.
Well, my Facebook's private. Kids nowadays, they're all on social media, man. You got TikTok, Instagram, Facebook. You even have a YouTube channel. I'm just messing with you, Austin.
So Jerry McClure, and I've had issues with Jerry in the past, but he wanted to know if you had any Lone Stars, and we've already.
I don't think I have any right now.
He had some Lone Stars, but he definitely doesn't have any Long Stars, you know.
Austin regret coming on the shit show.
Not at all.
That's funny.
Nah, man, Austin's cool people, man. We're supposed to go fishing, but I've been too busy trying to make some money. So, you know, eventually, hey, you know what's so cool? You go into Austin's office, you look over there, he has fishing rods and all.
I do.
So it's like, you know,
I do.
I told him, like, you go fishing? He was like, hell yeah. I was like, can you take me to go get some mangrove snappers? And up to now, it still ain't show up for him to take me to go get some mangrove snappers, man. I've been meaning to catch me some mangrove snappers, dude. So
let's do it.
So where do you go to fish? Where do you go to fish?
He ain't gonna give out his money holes, man. Don't give out his money holes. You know how it is in Florida. You don't give out. I'm just messing with you. Go ahead,
man. Usually down south, Naples, Fort Myers area. You know, without giving too much away. Usually Naples, Fort Myers area.
What do you like? What do you like? And I want to clarify this. I'm not a fisherman, but I'll give you some tips. But what kind of fish do you like?
Cobia, mangrove snapper, grouper. Usually those are the targets. They're fun to catch for sure.
What about snook?
Snook are fun. Bass on crack.
I'm gonna give you some secret places. I don't know what kind of boat you have or how you do it. Couple places. Hang around St. Pete Beach. Go behind the Finger Island houses.
Okay.
Get under a dock. You'll catch more snook than you can even imagine. That's one place. There we go. And the second place is under the Sunshine Skyway. Me and a buddy of mine used to always go there and always catch
I caught nothing under the Skyway, and I try to catch fish under the Skyway.
We would catch them all the time. Of course, you're limited to what you can take and
sure.
size and all that, but we would always go with at least, I think the limit was 1 or 2 maybe. I don't remember what it was.
They change them all the So,
yeah, I know they do.
Sure.
I think it was 2. We would both go with 2 each time we would go out.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. But
well, I guess we'll cut this show, man.
Yeah.
Again, we appreciate you having you on, Austin.
I appreciate you guys having me on. I really do. I thoroughly enjoyed it. Like I said, if there's anything that I can do, be of assistance, anybody out there listening, watching, like I said, just let me know. Feel free to reach out, and looking forward to doing it again. Feel free. I'm more than happy to come back on and do this again for sure.
Absolutely, man. And if you're looking for a truck, you holler at my boy Austin Miller. Phone number is scrolling right there on the bottom. Email is austin.miller@what.com?
International.com.
At international.com. Don't try to look for him on TikTok or Facebook or Instagram or YouTube. You ain't going to find him on there. This is how you get him, all right? And if you mention the Truck and Shit Show, you get nothing. But you'll get a good guy. You'll get Austin, and he'll find the best deal that he can for you.
You just gave a false statement, because if you mention the Truck and Shit Show, don't they get a gift certificate too?
Because of $50,000 rebate. That's funny. I wish. So we do have a promotion. So James and Dee, we are running a promotion right now because the two of them have bought trucks. If anybody's referred to me by either of them, you guys get they get the guy who buys a truck gets a $250 gift card, or gal buys a truck, they get a $250 gift card, and either Dee or James gets a $250 gift card. So a nice little gesture of thanks for steering business my way. It's one of those little national programs that we have going on as a little referral kind of a thing, just a token of our appreciation, saying thanks.
Anything else after do you have any like deals, like if they lease on, say for instance they lease on to like Landstar or others?
Yes, we do have it. We do have a promotion also. We have a $1,000 Advantage card for Landstar. We have one for OOIDA, CVTA, Evans, and there's one other one I'm not thinking of right now. Yep, Evans Transport and something else. But if you do sign on with either one, or you are currently signed on with any one of those guys, you do get a $1,000 International Advantage card. It is good at any international dealer, and you do get one of those cards as well. So,
all right, you guys can always check them out on the website. Google.
So he wants to know, does it have to be at your dealership? So Andre, just to kind of be on that, you got to get a hold of Austin. The truck doesn't necessarily have to be from that dealership, but you got to go through Austin to get it. And again, that's up to him to get transportation to the truck. Because I know one of the guys bought a truck from another dealer, right? Or went somewhere to get another. Did we have one guy that went to another place to get a truck?
Maybe, not entirely sure. I'll have to look back through my notes, but
you got to go through Austin to get this deal and to get it taken care of.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
Like, got another comment.
Aquila finally showed up.
I was on an old live. LOL. Hey guys, you were on a live from before, huh? Oh well. Go back and watch the replay.
Oh, I got another. See, I got questions now popping up, and we were just getting ready to let you go, but I can't let you go now, man.
No worries.
Okay, so how does we know about the other the used dealerships, the Arrows, the what's the name? Everybody goes to Lone Mountain. How do you guys set yourself apart from them, and like how is it different?
Because we are a division of the manufacturer, we get first crack at whatever used inventory is coming through the marketplace. And we have strict terms and conditions that we adhere to on the trucks. So the people that go and inspect our trucks are going to look for any kind of major mechanical issues, anything that's deleted, anything that's had any kind of major issues in general. If anything doesn't meet our terms and conditions, we reject those. Those ones are going to go out into the marketplace, either any kind of auctions or any other kind of selling places, and that's what everybody else buys. We get them straight from the fleets, and then we're going to basically redistribute them to the market.
Right.
So we are the manufacturer, so we are going to get them straight from the fleets. We do not get them we are typically not going to get them from the auctions. Every now and then we will go get them from the auctions, but that's a very, very small percentage. We are going to get them straight from Prime. We are going to get them straight from JB Hunt. We are going to get them straight from Schuster. We are going to get them straight from Pacific Shipping. So we're set up to get them straight from the fleets because we facilitate the new truck purchases and the trade-ins on those used trucks.
So Green Star Logistics says they brought his truck from Indianapolis. So
correct. We shipped his truck. He bought the truck from me in Tampa. We brought his truck from Indianapolis to Tampa. He picked that truck up from Indianapolis to Tampa for him to pick it up from me.
So I remember there was one. You can buy a truck from anywhere. Correct. As long as it's in your network and you can just have it shipped to your dealership. Now, is there a freight charge on that, or is there an extra charge?
I would work the best deal that I can, but yes, there is typically going to be a freight charge associated with that. Typically,
just like any sales job, as you're a car salesman, buy what's on our lot. I don't like purple, but guess what? Will you like purple if we take $500 off of it or something like that?
I love purple.
That's how we used to do it, man. Are you sure you don't want a purple truck?
Right.
We can make a better deal on this truck here than going to get the one that you want up in Indianapolis.
Right. So it's all, like I said, I'll work the best deal I can for anybody that comes and buys a truck. But like I said, depending on, the freight charge, it can be unavoidable at times. So
you got dealer installed options.
I'm sorry.
He's being silly. Hey, I got a silly one for you. Are you a National Lampoon Vacation fan? The movie Vacation.
I am.
Chevy Chase. Okay.
I am.
Can you get my truck in the metallic Pete?
I can try. If it exists, I'll try.
You remember the metallic Pete?
Yeah, I remember that.
Family truckster.
Yeah.
Okay, so here's another one, right? If for whatever reason somebody comes in and be like, I don't want an international, but I want you to get a specific truck, a Freightliner, Kenworth, are you able to do that as well too?
I can, yeah. Long story short, I can search for them. It just may take a little bit more time just to try and find them and source one.
So, right. And they got to pay the freight charges for it to ship it down and everything.
Depending on where it is, like I said, it may be a little bit more difficult to find. Some freight charges are more expensive than others. But
got you. Well, we're down to the final 12 minutes of the show, man. Get your questions in. Austin from International Youth Tampa is here with us tonight, answering all your questions, minds, and every craziness that I come up with in between.
I don't think we're going to go the next 12 minutes, man. I think you're ready to go, aren't you, Austin?
You can't hang.
I was probably going to say, like I said, if there's no more questions, guys, like I said, I appreciate it, but I think I might hop off here, but I appreciate it, guys. I really do. I appreciate you guys having me on here. Like I said, if there's anything I can do, any help I can be, or if any other questions I can answer, please let me know.
All right, Austin, we appreciate it.
I appreciate y'all, guys, gentlemen. It's been a pleasure, and looking forward to being on the show again for sure.
Absolutely.
We'll talk soon, buddy.
I appreciate it, guys. Thank you.
All right, have a good night, Austin.
Thank you, guys.
Bye. So I'm going to go up to the very beginning of the show. There were some questions or some things that were brought up. Blue Shadow. Oh, I just want to make sure we didn't miss any comments. Jonah Green says, oh, we've already read that one. We read KOs. I think we read everybody's, didn't we?
Just about. Yeah, except for the
Lance
last
said
few on
Mercer.
the bottom here.
Yeah, let's go to the bottom here. Newman says it's time for Texas barbecue.
Absolutely. Hey, I just went to Solman's the other day, man. Oh, my gosh. It's living in the memory. And guess what I'm going to do when I leave here? I'm going to go back to Solman's.
Green Star says, I never was an international guy. However, I bought this one. It's doing better in fuel than the Freightliner used to have. Yeah, I told you about that, Jose. I told you were going to be happy.
Absolutely. I am not an international guy whatsoever, man. But, hey, I love my truck because my truck take care of me and it actually does what I needed to get done. So, yeah.
Like Trucker says, he loves his 23 International. Everyone knows where the door mirror heater switch is. It's right. It's not the one on the dashboard. Yep, it's the one on the door.
It's always on the one on the door. I mean,
well, there's a mirror heater on the dash too. Did you know that?
No, I did not know that.
Yeah, there's one on the dash too. It doesn't work.
Hey, you gotta show it to me because I ain't never seen one.
Just go out to your truck and you see it. I mean, it's where all the switches are.
Well,
one of your switches has mirror heater on it.
Well, my truck isn't here at the hotel, so I don't know. Well, you'll show it to me tomorrow. I'll just show it to me tomorrow.
All right, guys, we're going to cut it out of here, man, because I got to get up at 2 in the morning and start driving. Try and get a couple hours nap. Somebody kept calling me today and waking my ass up before the show even started.
Well, damn, you shouldn't have answered your phone. Why are you letting people wake you up in the middle of sleep?
Oh, okay. Did not know this. The one on the dashboard is for the hood mirrors. Okay. Did not know that.
Interesting. I still don't know what button that is, but
I don't know why they wouldn't have one button for all the mirrors like that. That's weird.
But what if your hood mirror gets broken?
Well, still, one button would still work all of them.
It wouldn't work if the hood mirror is broken.
Well, obviously, yeah, no shit. But
the hood mirrors always get broken all the time. Yeah, I guess so.
All right, guys. Y'all have a good night, man. We'll see y'all
later.
All right,
everybody. Thank you again for joining in to the Truck and Shit Show. Be sure to like and subscribe to our channels, and we will see you guys next week.
Have a good night, guys. See y'all later.
What was that?